Hello, Commanders, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous Journey Across the Galaxy. We are continuing our deep space adventure out to Beagle Point, having already crossed all the way through the Galactic Center and the Great Black Hole over there from the bubble, heading on our way towards the edge of the galaxy, towards the very popular explorers goal of Beagle Point. Now, if you missed the last episode, the last couple of episodes, be sure to go back and watch those. We are leaving a planet right now that is the second in a pair of, we're leaving a moon right now that is the second in a pair of moons in the same planetary system that had incredibly diverse biology on them. The first one had 6 different biological sources, and this one that we're leaving from right now, as you can see, have 4. And very rarely do you come across that kind of opportunity in a single system. So we spent the last 2 episodes in this system doing that. So if you're just joining our series right now, there is a fairly repetitive sequence that happens in the game. We hop into a system, we'll pop our discovery scanner, check the system map to see if anybody has explored the system and made our job easy for us, and then we'll hop into the full spectrum system scanner to determine if there are any high value planets, Earth worlds, ammonia worlds, and water worlds. And if there are, we'll go and scan those, and then in a system like this where there are 15 or less bodies, we will do a complete scan with our full spectrum system scanner to try to see if there are any biological sources on planets that we want to go and scan for. So let's go ahead and check the map. Does not appear that anybody has scanned this already. Does not appear that there are any Earth-like worlds, ammonia worlds, or water worlds, as you can see in the bottom right of the screen there. But because there are few enough bodies to make it worth taking the time to scan them, we're going to scan these, look up in the top right, see if the features there says biological. This one does not, so we'll continue moving on until we find something interesting in the features section there that we want to go check out. So, go back over here. Okay, so I generally want to find at least 2 biological sources, because if it's just one like that, it's only going to be bacterium, and it's just not worth the time to go fly over there, scan it, land on it, find the bacteria, because many times the bacteria is hard to spot from the air, and I don't like to drive around. So this system is going to be a bust for us. Even though there was a biological source, it's not worth the time it's going to take us for one biological source that, can be very difficult to spot. Let's go ahead, hop into the next system. As I said in my last episode, I generally try to have a topic of discussion for when I do these, because it seems like you guys are more interested in, listening to me talk, and the game is kind of a background thing. Don't really have a specific subject to talk about today, because I expended that on my first video. I'm trying to kind of get my weekend in order. So, my plan for the foreseeable future is, when there's 2 bodies like this, it almost always means that it's a binary system and there's nothing else for us to do. My personal plan for the foreseeable future, as far as the channel goes, is because Elite Dangerous is by far my most popular content for the channel, I'm going to use those as my day off videos. So I'm trying to record extra videos today so that I can have them scheduled to appear over my quote unquote weekend. Because I try not to be recording on days when my wife is off. She works all week, and then she comes home, and we only get a little bit of time together based off of the situation that we're in right now. That's going to change pretty soon, but for now, I'm trying not to work on her days off. And if you're curious about that, yes, I have been unemployed for quite a while. The job market has not been kind to me, and yeah, that's one of the reasons I've been focusing on doing YouTube, is because I struggled to find a job for a long time, and I finally got to the point where I got to be doing something. I can't just sit here filling out applications for jobs and never getting called back, and then what am I gonna do? All right, there's a water world in this system, so let's find that first, since it's definitely the most important thing. We'll get that targeted, and then let's scan the rest of all of this stuff and see if there's any biological signatures worth going after. So, I got to the point where it's like, I got to be doing something. I got to do something productive, because I can't just sit around here applying for jobs and, never getting any kind of progress out of that. It's just driving me insane. So, I've mostly mostly given up on the job search for now. I mean, you know, eventually, if the YouTube thing doesn't start picking up in the relatively near future, I'm gonna have to go back to at least trying to find something. But for now, I'm not really. My current situation makes it extremely difficult for me to find a job. Soon we'll be moving back into our RV, and I will be in a location where I could feasibly find an in-person job, and that was kind of the thing that was making it virtually impossible for me to find anything. The situation I'm in right now is such that I can't work in person right now. Now, once I move back to a place where I can, well, then that'll be a different story. We'll see if I can find something then. But for now, you know, for the last year, I've been kind of stuck in a place where I can't find any kind of work because the only kind of work I can do is the kind of work that everyone else wants to do, remote work. And it sucks because I have the qualifications and the skill set to do many different kinds of remote work, but, you know, I'm competing with so many other people who want that same thing that it's virtually impossible to find it unless you have some kind of edge. And I guess I just don't, because I haven't gotten any callbacks. I think I had one. I've literally hundreds, if not over 1,000 applications to jobs over the last year and a half, and I got one interview. That's what I'm dealing with here. So, you know, it's a struggle. It's a struggle to try to make things work when you don't have what you need to make to find success, and, you know, you don't know anybody that can help you out. So you're just blindly stumbling around trying to figure out how to make things work. And it's weird because excuse me. It's weird because my most every job I've gotten since leaving the Marine Corps, I got through Craigslist, which is weird, I know, but literally every job that I've gotten since I left the Marine Corps was a Craigslist post that either I saw or I put my resume on Craigslist and somebody reached out to me, and that's just not working anymore. I don't know why. I mean, I know a big part of it is just the fact that I've been really wanting to try to find a remote job because, you know, I own a travel trailer and I have the dream of being able to travel around the country and, you know, working while I do that. And there's just companies, regardless of this idea that people have that we've entered this remote revolution, and yeah, a significant portion of the job market is working remotely now, but not significantly enough that most people who want to do it are able to do it. There's still too many companies out there that still want you to be there in person so that they can manually supervise you. And, you know, until that changes and people with skill sets like mine that are heavily computer-based are able to have more access to that kind of an opportunity, well, unfortunately, we're going to be stuck working in an office, and that really sucks. I hate the things I hate about working in person anywhere are, number one, I'm pretty antisocial. There's a reason I do videos instead of live streaming. A couple of reasons. The first reason, first and foremost, is I'm sick and tired of being on someone else's schedule. I want to be able to work when it makes sense for me to work, and have the ability to you know, flex my schedule around to meet my needs rather than being forced to move my needs around some company. So that's number one. And if you're going to be a streamer, you kind of have to have a set schedule, and then you're still having to work your life around your stream. So you're a slave to. Oh, we didn't check our. I saw 31 bodies, and I was like, oh, we're bypassing this system, and I didn't pop into the full spectrum system scanner because I wasn't thinking about it. Oh well. So, you know, you're still a slave to a schedule as a streamer, because if you want your audience to show up, you have to be there at the same time. Same time, every time, whatever your schedule is, whether it's once a week or every day or whatever it is. And I can't imagine there are any successful gaming streamers who only go once a week. So, you know, I have a schedule for my recording that I have right now, but, you know, I have the freedom to adjust that anytime I want to, because my videos publish at the same time every day, but I don't record them at the same. I don't have to record them at the same time every day. As long as I record them sometime the day before, I could record in the morning if I feel like it, which I generally do. I'm the kind of person who likes to get my work out of the way as soon as possible so that I have the rest of the day to just, you know, chill out. So I generally record, you know, first thing in the morning after I've kind of woken up a little bit. I've found that, have I not scanned anything? I'm so busy talking, I keep forgetting to actually do the exploration part. Or maybe I have a terrible memory. Maybe I have been popping into here and I just don't remember. It's part of the repetitiveness of this that's just like, it's mind-numbing. Nothing here, so we'll move on. So I generally record first thing in the morning because I like to just get it out of the way, because I'm the kind of person that if I don't just get it over with, then I'll demotivate myself to the point where I end up not doing it. And for something as important as this, I do, you know, try to have the discipline to just get up in the morning, do all of my recordings, get them uploaded and scheduled, and then I have the rest of the day free to do what I want. But I would really, the reason I want to stick with recordings is because I want to have the freedom of being able to say, oh, well, I have something I need to do in the morning, and, you know, I want to do it in the morning, and that's just the end of it. I don't want to have to ask some boss, hey, can I take some personal time so I can go take care of this thing I need? No. I want to have the freedom to be able to say, no, my schedule is my schedule and I get to decide when I do things. So that's kind of my philosophy on why I have no interest in streaming, and it's primarily because, you know, the benefits of being an independent content creator is supposed to be that it provides you with an extensive amount of freedom. And if you're leashing yourself to a schedule, for your streams, then you don't have that freedom anymore. You've basically just turned yourself into your own draconian boss. And I don't want that to be my life if I can avoid it. I'm trying to get away from that kind of life. So that's the reason, that's the biggest reason I don't want to stream. But then the other side of it is what I mentioned before, the antisocial part. It's the, you know, I am uncomfortable interacting with people, always, unless they're somebody that's personally in my life, like my wife and my family and all of that. But even then, you know, I only have so much in my social battery, and I need significant amounts of alone time so that I can recharge and not feel like I'm being worn out by, you know, having to deal with other people's stuff. I have very little patience for the needs of other people, and, you know, I realize that's a selfish thing, but some of us are more selfish than others, and I've recognized that about myself. I'm a pretty selfish person who has been trained to be selfless, and I give of myself probably more than my default nature would be. I grew up in that area, to quote Dave Chappelle, I'm not as old as he is. I'm probably 10 years younger than him, but I did grow up with the Care Bears, and if you watched his special, you know what I'm talking about. We were trained to care. Oh, wait, hold on. I need to stop and scan. Yeah, see, we would have missed this ammonia world. I get so involved in, I get so distracted by my talking that I stop paying attention. Okay, so we'll go scan that. Where is it? There we go. All right. So let's head over to this and we'll scan that. So, you know, my generation, I'm at the very beginning of the millennial generation. Depending on which model you're using or which chart you're looking at, you know, where they arbitrarily decided that the generations change. I'm either at the very, very end of Generation X or the very, very beginning of the millennial generation, Generation Y. So, you know, I'm part of that time period where they were teaching us you have to care about everything. You know, and I generally tend to be overly annoyed by things because, you know, I force myself to care about things that I probably shouldn't. Then I don't know. It is. I'm going off on a tangent here. The point is that one of the big reasons I don't do streaming is because I generally tend to avoid people wherever possible. And doing a live stream means I'm going to have to interact with people in real time and provide you guys with specific attention. And I have a very limited capacity for that personally. So while I will be doing live streams at some point, because I do want to provide those of you who choose to support the channel with more access to me than the general public would have, you know, assuming I get to the point where it's worth it for you guys to do that. You know, live streaming for me is going to be a very, very limited thing because of the kind of personality that I have. I'm very much the definition of an introvert. My energy is drained by social interaction, not the other way around. Stupid mouse. I need to have, you know, as much personal space as I can get. So that's that. I feel like I had another kind of vague subject related to all of this, but I don't remember what it was.
Frameshift drive charging.
Oh, I was talking about schedules and... Oh, because I'm recording all of these extra videos so that I can have days off. So, anyways, you know... I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say about that other than, you know... I would like for this channel to become relatively substantial, if at all possible, so that it can become a career for me. I have that performer background where I'm able to turn it on when I have to, and that's why I'm able to sort of kind of make these videos halfway decent, because, you know, even though by nature I'm an introvert, I have years and years, I have decades of training as a performer because I was a musician. I was a musician in high school. I did a year of college to become a music teacher. Never finished it, but you know, that's another performing thing. And then, you know, life happened and I had to find some kind of income, so I ended up joining the Marine Corps as a musician, and I spent 11 years doing that. So I have the Marine Corps that kind of forced the extroversion out of me a little bit, and then also just the fact that I spent most of the first half of my life being a performer of one kind or another. And, you know, I have the ability to get outside of that introversion that I have and turn on the performer mode. But it is extremely exhausting for me, and I don't willingly put myself into that situation. That's something where, you know, you got to do what you got to do sometimes, and you know, if I'm going to do YouTube videos, I got to do that, and I'm not going to put myself in a position where I have to do that in a live setting such as streaming. Well, we got through 17 minutes of the video with stuff to say. I'm not really sure where to pivot to next, if I'm perfectly honest with you. We are getting to the point where we either need to find a biological signature or we need to start looking for a place to land, because I still have a few more videos to do for today's recordings, for the recordings that I'm doing, because I have 4 different games that I'm playing, and I'll generally record each of those, a session for each of those games every day, and schedule them for the next day. Elite Dangerous is the second game that I record. Somehow I was holding the trigger and I guess I mistimed it. The discovery scanner didn't go off. 3 bodies. So Elite Dangerous is the second game. So I did my Microsoft Flight Simulator stuff first, and then now I've done 3 episodes of this. But I still have my trucking game to do and my hunting game to do, and those both take a significant amount of... Well, the trucking game is usually between 20 and 30 minutes because I don't put any cuts in that, just like I don't put any cuts for this. But the hunting game generally takes me quite a bit longer because, you know, there's a lot of walking around with nothing happening, so I generally pause the recording until I find something interesting, and then I'll bring the viewers back to that. So I still have to finish this episode, find a place to land, then I have to record a trucking video. Is there a reason why we're going so slow? Jeez. Must be a massive star if it's taking us this long to get through this. So yeah, I still have a fair bit to do. Still have a fair bit to do. Does anybody... Okay. So there's few enough here that we're going to go ahead and look. Gas giant. These are close enough that if there's a landable planet here, we'll probably go ahead and go land on it. All right, so there's one there. So if we don't find any biology, we'll just land on one of these geological planets because we need to go ahead and get done with this episode. And then it looks like there's one more gas giant, so we're definitely not going to find any more biology. But that's okay. We got lucky. We got extremely lucky in the last 2 episodes. I hate the way that this completely changes orientation as you move around like this. Alright. So now, we'll just pick the closest one. It's off in this direction. Alright, cool. So it's far enough away that I'm going to go ahead and do a brief cut to cross this distance and bring you guys back. So see you in a second. Alright, here we are approaching the planetary system over here. Looks like it's going to be a nice big ringed planet, so that's kind of cool. I need to start figuring out conditions to look for where I can expect to find some of these visually stunning areas, because these are procedurally generated, and I have to... Well, that's weird. What's going on with the orbit of that planet? It's weird. Okay. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that other than it's weird. It was a nice, cool big ring planet. I was saying, I need to find out what the conditions are for, you know, finding really cool, weird phenomena like that. I know that wasn't exactly like worthy of stopping for, but like there's some really beautiful places that you can visit, and I don't know if there are ways to increase the chances of you finding those things. It certainly would be nice. I saw a video where somebody was talking about, or somebody was showing a place where you could visit that had like, it was like purple ground with some, or pink ground with some pink plants, and then there was a bunch of geysers everywhere, and you know, it was extremely pretty. And I'd love to be able to find some of those things, but I'm not sure what to look for to increase my chances of actually coming across stuff like that. So the best I end up being able to do for you guys as far as like visually appealing things is trying to land on Terminators over here where there's going to be a sunrise or a sunset or something like that. But I'd love to be able to find some really stunning either galactic items like space items or galactic or visually stunning ground items like that. It's like I'd love to be able to find that kind of stuff and be able to put that into my content. So I think we'll go... Nope, not doing that. Not really sure. I guess I'll go to the edge of this crater here. It's kind of at the top of a shadow. I want to be high enough that when we turn around and look at the star, we'll be able to see it and not be blocked by terrain. Make sure my throttle's turned all the way down so we don't run into anything. And yeah, I think we'll just kind of go to the edge over here, and hopefully we can find a landing spot. I'm not sure. I mean, it looks relatively flat, kinda. Where's the star? It's got to be over here somewhere, because the shadow's coming this direction. Weird. Oh, is that it over there? I think that might be the star. It's kind of the brightest, most obvious thing there. So now we gotta try to find suitable terrain. Hopefully we can find it. Oh, there we go. All right. Well, hopefully you guys had lots of fun. Be sure to click that like button so the YouTube algorithm knows you did and sends the video out to as many viewers as possible. We want to get as many people along for the journey as we can so that we can discuss it in the comments and interact and all of that stuff. I know I just said I'm not a very social person, but I don't mind having discussions in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already so that when the next video comes out, it will show up in your video feed and you'll be able to watch it as soon as it becomes available. Channel members do get early access to all of my content, so be sure to click that join button. Check out the list of features that will become available to you should you decide to support the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated and will be a critical step in helping me become a professional YouTuber rather than just doing this for fun. So again, thank you very much for your time. Hope you guys had lots of fun, and I'll see you for the next one.